Welcome to Pharaoh Mr. Nice Guy, and I'm your host, MNG. And today what I want to talk about is cultivating the talent of your child. Now I know some people are like, well, my kid ain't got no goddamn talent. Or you're probably saying that my kid has all the talent in the world and don't need to practice. Or you're probably saying that you already cultivate your kid's talent. And you know what? All of those are valid statements. So I'm going to talk about it anyways, because I feel like it's essential to talk to whomever is listening. And you may be able to suggest this podcast or this episode to somebody that maybe needs that little push and they don't want to listen to you because you probably think that you like yammering and stuff like that. Not saying that you do, but you know how the case is. But hey, let's get into it, right? So let's talk about why you should cultivate your kids' talent. So one of the things here is that every child has something that they're interested in, something they can improve on, and some type of talent that they have. And as a parent, it's not necessarily your job, but it is an opportunity for you to invest that time and that energy into that child that wants to play the drums or play a musical instrument or want to draw or want to work or build computers. It's your opportunity to invest that, especially if you wasn't invested in. And I know that sometimes it takes money and it takes energy and it takes time that you may not have. But in any case, any opportunity or time that you may have that you can go and invest in this child is going to be essential to their future growth. And I know you're probably like, MNG, I don't have the money. Sometimes it doesn't take money. Sometimes it takes time. You may say, well, I don't have the time. Okay, well, then if you don't have the time, then it takes money. Now you could say, I don't have the time and the money. Then hopefully you have a support system. I mean, let's think about it. LeBron James didn't get to where he was at. JaVale McGee didn't get to where he was at. Ray Allen didn't get to where he was at. Them people didn't get to where they was at without the time and investment. You can only have so much inspiration in yourself. Because some people have a lot of inspiration in themselves and a lot of faith in themselves, and they can just go and they can just get it. And nobody could tell them anything. They just inherently motivated to just keep going forward. Now, everybody don't have that type of motivation. Some people need a support system to kind of push them forward. For example, I loved basketball. I was excited about basketball. Any and everything that had anything to do about basketball, I was all for it. You can catch me at the basketball court at any given time. If people wanted to play, I'm all for it. If we was playing in the street, I'm all for it. I didn't really start playing in a gym until I got to like middle school. That's when I kind of started playing basketball in the gym, or a little bit before that. But other than that, I pretty much just played street ball. Me, my friends, my cousins, we were just out there just hooping. And I was hooping with people that was older than me. So they would block my shit to the next block. Okay. And then I had to run down there, get the ball to get them to take the ball out so we can continue playing. That's how bad it was. But we used to hoop. And we used to hoop all day long. And I wanted to play for the Orlando Magic. That's the team I wanted to play for. I was like, they got my favorite colors, black and blue. It was so simple for a kid. I'm like, they got my colors, black and blue, I could play for them. Now, I didn't know all the intricacies that go into trying to make the NBA. I couldn't even tell you the statistic of people that was going into the NBA at that time. All I knew was I wanted to play in the NBA. That was my dream. But didn't nobody take the time to help cultivate that talent. And it's not their fault. And I'm not blaming anyone. I wanted my son to experience that. I wanted my son to experience the things that I wasn't able to experience and learn from those failures or those attempts. Let's just call them attempts, because he ain't really truly failed at anything yet. I mean, he's failed, but not failed on a colossal scale. But learn from those attempts. I don't think there's been a person that played Mario all the way through and didn't lose at least once before they went back, and then they were able to play it all the way through because they knew where the traps were at. They knew what to expect. So, you kind of fall into those attempts and those failures and keep proceeding forward. Okay. So let's look at cultivating your kids' talent, really digging in so, they could be successful. You have those kids that has the inherent skill of what they want to do. They probably don't need no practice. They're probably good at archery. Pinpoint accuracy with the arrow. And they're sharp with it. They're probably good at spelling. Can ace a spelling bee with no problem. You probably got a mathematician on your hand. Can do math out this world. Probably got an excellent drawer. Not really drawing like real life scale portraits, but they draw better than their current age group or their current classmates. That's the talent that you want to cultivate and you want to make more of. You can have a genius on your hand and not even know it. But sometimes I feel like we ignore the signs and we don't try to cultivate those little skills that we see and we come across. Like my son, he's a gamer, loves playing video games. Entered a few tournaments, got far in those tournaments. And I told him, I was like, you know what? That's pretty dope. You can make a lifestyle out of gaming. Some people in the comments are gonna be like, gaming? Like, gaming? MNG, you sound crazy. Like, why would you tell your son to go and game? There are people that make millions of dollars off of gaming, sponsorships, the whole 9 yards. They make a lot of money gaming. And he built up his skill set and make a name for himself, even if he plays the same game over and over again, to a point where he put himself in situations where he can go to tournaments where the jackpot is $200,000, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million. I would be proud of him. I would say, you know what? Make it do what it do. Good luck. Do you want me there? Because I will make every attempt to be there. I will be on the same plane as you. I don't care if I got to put on a credit card. I don't care if I got to take a personal loan out. Bro, we going. Like, this is an opportunity for him. And if he wins, even if he comes in second place, he probably still will get some money. But even if he doesn't come in second place, hey, we can always go to the next one, and we can keep going further and further and further. I introduced my son to chess, and he played with a grandmaster, and he was in like sixth grade. No, he was in fifth grade, like fifth grade, because I remember, because it was the side of school that we was on. And I'm sitting there in the first class. Every student sat down in the class, sat down, and lost within like 2 to 3 moves. My son has never played chess before. Never played chess. So he sat down with the grandmaster and he played with him. He told him what the pieces do. And he lasted a good 15 moves before he lost. He was the only kid to get that far. And I was like, man, he must be really good at chess. For his first time like playing, he was really good. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is something that we need to go ahead and look into. So I tried to enroll him in chess class. And we play chess to keep his skills up. I'll play chess with him because I know how to play chess. So I'll play chess with him. And, he'll be in chess class, learning, the techniques and the basics and everything. And then he'll come home and then we'll play chess. So we did that for a few years, and then they kind of cut out chess class. I promise you, like public schools, but they always cutting something. So that was a talent that I tried to cultivate of his, because he can do anything with it. Even if, he's working a job and he likes his job. And just say on the weekends, he go and he play in chess tournaments. Because that's just what he likes to do. That's spare money that he could put in his pocket if he wins. Say it's like a $500 jackpot. Hey, it's $500. He'd be able to go ahead and win that. No problem. So and that's what I mean by cultivating that talent, whether it's inherited or anything. That's one thing you want to be able to just cultivate, just be able to kind of bring that out of them. Now, let's kind of talk about social media. Now, social media is like a big thing right now where you can become famous off of social media. If we talk about the NPCs on TikTok, if we talk about some of the travel blogs, if we talk about some of the cooking blogs, if you talk about any of those things, so far as being able to be a success, a person could be a success on social media. Now, I wanted my son to start a gaming channel, so we tried to do that, and he's a little bit discouraged, so that didn't really get off the ground. But the TikTok challenges and the dances and stuff like that, like my son not really a social media person. But in the same token, if your kid is a good in the limelight, I'm not gonna say starving for attention, but is good in the limelight, is able to love the camera, I would say that if you structure it well, you can make a decent income off of social media. Like you can make a decent income, but you gotta have the game plan in order to be able to do it. Because without the game plan, because you can go in and wing it, but without the actual game plan, like the social media presence, it'd be kind of difficult to kind of just overcome and be like, okay, well, we seen some challenges, but we made some money. Because walking in without a structure, without a plan, you're probably setting yourself up for failure. And if you are going to set yourself up for failure, fail gracefully and then go back and do it again. Fall gracefully again and then go back and do it again. Because there's nothing that states that success happens on a first try. I've started several type of businesses, two which involve social media. And I can tell you right now, like trying to capture an audience, a lot of people say it's like consistency. You gotta be consistent. That's part of it, but you also gotta have an attractive product. McDonald's, at one point in time, before it switched over and they got bought out, way back when in the beginning, if you've seen like the McDonald's movie, they had an attractive product, but they didn't have the mindset and the structure to take it worldwide. Somebody else came along and had the structure and the mindset to take it worldwide, and they did, because they have failed at so many different ventures until they found the right one. That's what failure comes in at. Failure provides experience and knowledge where those that are succeeding a little bit may not see the product that they have to get them to the next level. So we talked about learned skills. Learned skills is basically like what I did. So I had an animation channel on YouTube, and I always wanted to do animation. So one of the things that I liked to do, there's two things that I like the most: writing and animation. And I wanted to combine both of them. So what I end up doing is I end up learning how to write scripts. So I began writing scripts. And then from writing scripts, I end up doing animation. I did animation for like 5 years. So I produced a few animations, from beginning to end. Writing the script, storyboard, voiceovers, production, finished product. I did it all. And it was fun. I actually enjoyed doing it. And it took me a year to learn the program to be able to animate. It took me like 16 hours to produce a 3 to 5 minute short. 16 hours. I mean, it was exhausting. But again, this is a person learning from scratch and then putting it out into the world and producing it, doing the voiceovers. So it was a lot of that I was doing to be able to try to learn how to do animation and put it out there and learn the marketing aspect and the advertising aspect, like the whole 9 yards, like from beginning to end was just the beginning of a long weekend. Like I already did 40 hours at work. To turn around and do 16 hours in a weekend on animation alone was just ridiculous. Like I couldn't imagine how I even got through it. And then at the hours, reading scripts, scheduling actors to come through to read scripts, then cutting up the audio. Like it was a lot that I had to do in just a small amount of time. Like I was trying to produce in 7 days, which was ridiculous. Like I should never have attempted to try to produce one cartoon or two cartoons in 7 days time and have it published by the next week. It was ridiculous. But you have those learned skills where you can pick something up and you can start learning it, and with just a little bit of practice or a lot of bit of practice or a whole lot of practice, you'll be able to master what you're doing. Like I can go back into the animation software and I can do an animation. I can go and get an audio software and I can do the audio and cut the animation up, and I can have an actor come in and I can coach the actor on how I want him to say it. I can go ahead and write the script and write it from scratch and polish it up and do all of that stuff. I can go ahead and do all of that stuff because I have the learned skill and I practiced it day in and day out, night after night. So it's nothing to be able to go in and to write a small script and to do an animation, to create a background. It's nothing to be able to go in and do that. I can do it easily at this point in time. So you have those learned skills. So, if your kid wanted to try something, like my son wanted to pick up the drums, I'm sure if I bought a drum set, he'll still have some of those techniques and that knowledge in order to be able to play the drums. He'd probably be able to put a song on and play the drums easily along with the song because he has that learned talent. He may not practice it, but he has that learned talent. And that's kind of what you want in some cases if they want to pick something up, because they could be able to use it to kind of supplement their income or to add to their income if they need to. If he wanted to go and play drums in a band, yeah, he probably had to practice some, but at least he would have the learned skills to be able to do it. If he wanted to do it on the weekend at some club or whatever like that, he'll be able to have to cultivate those skills to be able to do it. So he just had to just practice more. Like he don't know how to read sheet music, but he just had to practice. And maybe through repetition, he'll be good with it. Just whatever. Whatever he's going to do, that'll be cool. Now, the last little bit that I kind of want to get into is like your responsibility. And I know it's like, MNG, shut the fuck up. Like your responsibility, like what you mean my responsibility? Your responsibility. Because you are the parent, you are the active parent, you are the person that is guiding this child through life. No child walks into the world with innate knowledge. It's not possible. Now I know there is a philosopher that believes that, a psychologist that believes that kids come into this world. Rene DeCirces, he believes that kids come to this world with the innate ability of knowing right from wrong, and that's not the case. I don't believe that kids know right from wrong once they are born into this world. So it's up to you to guide them. And for example, if kids walk into this world innately knowing right from wrong, then there will be kids in other countries that's not carrying around AK-47s killing people and thinking that they're doing right by their country, or thinking they're doing right by their community, or thinking they're doing right by the group that they're led, the group leader that they were led by. That would not be possible because every environment distinctively knows what is beneficial for their group, and they could believe that, hey, this is our group, we have to protect it. That means killing other people. Is it considered right or wrong? Is it considered a crime? It all depends on where you're actually from. Because in some cases, killing a person, we know not innately, but we know that it's wrong to kill a person. But in other areas, other countries, depending on where you at, killing somebody, it may be a rite of passage. It may be a ritual. It may be necessary. It may be how they protect themselves. You don't know. Just because in America, we believe that, right and wrong is by the things that you do or say in your actions. And we just keep on with the murdering aspect. We know that killing somebody is wrong. We know that for a fact. We know that hands down, right? But what some people don't know is that in another country, if you kill somebody, say in a remote area in the Amazon or wherever like that, some tribe, they may not feel like killing it wrong. They can kill you with no remorse, no regret. But there's no law that's out there that says that within this tribe that killing is wrong. It could be, hey, there's an instance where you have to fight to the death and they kill the other person. And it could be considered a rite of passage or the right to being the leader or whatever the case is. Who's to tell them that, hey, that what you're doing is wrong, that what you're doing is barbarian, if that's something that they've been doing for so long? You can't really necessarily say that it's right or wrong. But your responsibility, I kind of went off on a tangent, but your responsibility is to help cultivate that talent and build that talent and let it shine for what it is. It's not going to be something that's going to happen on us overnight. It may not happen in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. But as long as you're putting the time and investment and energy in there, it could be something small. It doesn't have to be anything big. Sometimes you just got to get very creative with helping cultivate the talent and building on it. That's my piece. So this is MNG. This is Farewell, Mr. Nice Guy. Go ahead and send us a voice message. The voice link is in the description. Go ahead and send us a voice link. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about the episode. You can always hit us up at farewellmrniceguy@gmail.com. You can go ahead and send us an email. Also, don't forget to follow our Instagram page at farewellmng. We post a lot of our episodes on there. So far as we'll post a lot of what's coming up next, and we do a few lives on there. So go ahead and check that out, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.